right, ninth house. Shout out to all my Virgo risings. All right, we're going to get right into it. Ninth house, Virgo risings in the building. All right. May deep into heavy self-reflection around these times. All right. This season has been influencing you to have more discernment with who you surround yourself with. Virgo risings. All right. Sun transiting. See, Sun and Mercury transiting that third house. Now, Mercury loves to be in the third house, right? But Scorpio in the third house goes through a lot of changes, secrets, hidden agendas, learning how to be more. You might have to learn. You be having to learn how to be more secretive in the third, having Scorpio in the third house, because you may have had situations early in life where you told people certain things, or you confided in somebody. You feel me? And then they told some shit to somebody else, and you like, damn, I don't even open up like that. Like, goddamn, motherfucking you fucking steal clothes. Because you grew up poor and shit, and you started dating somebody young when you was in the third house. You started dating, you had a little partner in sixth grade or whatnot, and then you open to them like, yeah, I don't really be getting all these clothes because of my family. Like, I be stealing it. Like, my family's rough. Like, I be having to provide for my family. You in sixth grade opening up about some deep shit in the third house, Scorpio in the third house. Then that same person go tell somebody else. Y'all get out your little sixth grade puppy love relationship. Y'all get into some beef. They say that shit on Facebook, or you feel me? They put that as their aim status on their sidekick. Like, so Scorpio in the third house be going through some real bullshit at times when it comes to the adolescent stages, early education, friends. So that's why, like, Scorpio, Virgo risings, Scorpio in the third house. That's why the Virgo rising social circle be like this. That's you got Earth in the first house, so you're gonna personally be reserved, but that's why they don't really fuck with people like that, because they may have had them experiences. Scorpio in the third house. Virgos probably don't be cool with they be going through mad transformations or having extreme relationships with their siblings too. 6 months, you and your sibling Gucci, y'all look like the best siblings in the world, and y'all not talking for a year. It's like, damn. Your parents be knowing. Your parents be asking you like, hey, did you seen what your sister posted on Facebook? Did you ask her about it? It's like, we ain't talking right now. Like, your parents be like, oh yeah, back at it again. All right. Anyways, how's work? Scorpio in the third house. So that's why when they get into their relationships, connecting with people, friends, y'all start learning how to, let people give a little bit more before you start connecting or whatnot. We have a little bit of trust issues, a little bit be there sometimes in relationships and whatnot. You gotta take your time there. Let people true color show. You start getting a little good at it too, especially if you got placements in water, or you got certain energies that's good with, psychology and whatnot. You feel me? You start knowing what questions to ask, what energy to throw at people to just break down whatever fake image they was trying to give you, to get right to it. Scorpio in the third get a little deep, but wherever Scorpios that get deep. But this was definitely a season, all right, for you to learn how to have more discernment with who you surround yourself with, aka third house energy. People that you're around, your friends or whatnot. Realizing why they like to be around you. Do they fuck with you for you? Do they fuck with you for you, Virgo rising, or what you bring to the table? All right? That's where some of that detachment may have to, some of that release may be in that third house. All right? Embracing taking what you've learned to connect to others. You may also, Virgo rising, play out around this time to be there to, in some type of shape or form with some form of information or awareness or insight for others, and may have to step into the plate to express that or connect that to others. Great time to analyze how your familiar habits, environment, friends hold you back from experiencing new things. So you got the full moon in the ninth house. So you're feeling like you want to bring new experiences going into sad season. With full moon transit in the ninth house, you're going to feel like you want to open some new doors, some new chapters in life right now. So it's forcing you to see all the things that's in your third house that you've been coming into contact with, that you've been gaining more of awareness about during Scorpio season, that don't help you to experience new things, familiar habits, familiar friends, things in your environment, things in your surroundings, certain ways that you think about things. Third house dealing with thinking, relationships, communication, So depending on how you're relating, what you're relating to, how does that hold back how you're able to experience new things in this ninth house? All right, that the full moon is going to really have you resonating with around this time. You know, I said you're going to be, you know, in a real deep, maybe really deeply self-reflecting around this time, because, you know, ninth house just deal with experiences. So it may just be a time right now that, you know, when it comes to the things that you want to, you have a crave for in your life, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a career opportunity, whether it's something, a certain personal aspirational goal right now, you may find yourself just really feeling like, okay, let me just make sure, you know, I take into account everything I feel like I should have been learning with my experiences this year or whatnot, you know, in order to see how I could take what I've gained from the experiences and catapult forward. It's almost like, you know, you're just in a real spiritual reset point of view right now to help you propel yourself forward with the things you need to work on, you know. So, but you really got to just filter energies between that third and ninth house axis, all right? Seeing what you've been doing on an everyday basis that's familiar to you, or something that you picked up on, all right, based off your environment, based off the people you be around, and see how that affects the things that you do want to experience, adventure about, all right? Very important there. So that's Virgo rising. Okay. Oh yeah, another little note I just have. Time to really build a tighter relationship with the belief and faith frequency vibration. Virgo rising. All right. That ninth house energy, dealing with all that Jupiter energy, all that expansion, abundant like energy. Like right now, Virgo rising, anything that you feel like you want to give time and effort to build on right now, you should have, you know, some signs need to learn not to have so much of a high expectation, because sometimes they stay with high expectations and stay, you know, getting disappointed. This is the time to have high expectations, Virgo. This is the time for you to embark on new things, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a personal project, whether it's something in career or whatnot, and look at that shit like, yo, I ain't putting no limits on what this could grow into. Let me just, you feel me, move with this shit right now. Let me just experience. Let me just experience it. Let me just experience it. Okay? So that's really important right there. Leo rising's 10th house. Leo rising's 10th house in the building, all right? Full moon transit in the 10th house. You may have a very, you know, Scorpio season may have been very, you may have been in a real isolated state, you know, during Scorpio season, you know. So you got Scorpio up in that 4th house, Leo risings. So with the Sun and Mercury transiting there and whatnot, you know, you may feel like right now I really have to pour into self. I really need to make sure I'm paying attention to how I feel about things, not rushing certain decisions, really processing my emotions before I do things. I don't give a fuck if it's my relationship life, my career life, my family life, my personal life. I got to see how I feel about it first. Like Scorpio season may have put you in that type of frequency vibration. The Sun in transit in that 4th house is going to make you pay attention to how you can heal, how you could get yourself back to a healthy space with your emotional well-being. So naturally, it could push you into an isolated space during Scorpio season, all right? And Mercury in the 4th house, Mercury is just trying to dissect how to bring solutions to your 4th house, especially situations with loved ones and in the home, all right? But now with the full moon transit in the 10th house, you feel me? You know, appreciate you, Dawn. Appreciate you for the Cash App, Dawn. All right. But family and loved ones may have been on your conscience heavy. Okay. The full moon is emphasizing what responsibilities are a burden on your emotional well-being. So with this type of energy, Leo rising. So you got Taurus in that 10th house. So with the full moon there right now around this time, you know, you're really resonating with the things that you're working on, things in career, things you're doing to stabilize yourself, things that you're doing to upkeep a reputation, a brand, how people see you, how people know you. That's the 10th house energy, the midheaven, the social status. You're seeing how you can drop some of these responsibilities in order to open up space for you to work on your emotional well-being, rest, be to your subconscious some more. Maybe some things in this 10th house is bothering some. Maybe you're bringing some of these 10th house things into your 4th house. Maybe you're bringing too much of career. Maybe you're bringing too much of work. Maybe you're bringing too much of the tension of what you're working on or trying to build or get right into your 4th house. You got to learn how to separate that shit at times. You got to learn to be able to come into your 4th house, come into your home, come into your private space, and be able to release there. If you can't release there, if you can't release there, if there's no, division between what is it you're working on, what is it you're trying to grow, how you deal with any forms of things to build stability between what's home to you, then it's going to be hard to find that that comfort zone. So that's a real huge emphasis right now. This may be a time to entertain rearranging things in career, especially if you're an entrepreneur, any type of business person, learning to work smarter, not harder, to help stabilize yourself on an emotional level, though. So, you may just have to make certain tweaks right now with the full moon transit in your 10th house, just to make sure that, your schedule is lighter, you're dividing your time with more clarity at the moment. With the sun transit in your 4th house this season, you're understanding how much time you really need to yourself. You're understanding, you're gaining more of an awareness of what affects your comfort zone on a positive or negative level. You feel me? So right now, what you take that into account, that helps you to rearrange how you deal with your 10th house, how you deal with your responsibilities, how much hours you're going to consider working on this or taking that work or whatnot. All right? How to divide your time between how you gain stability and how you build your emotional stability at the moment. So that's really important right there for my Leo risings. Okay. Don't hesitate. This might resonate hard for a lot of you. Don't hesitate to rebrand yourself right now, Leo rising. All right. When we got the full moon transit in the 10th house, anywhere the full moon is transiting, it's time for some change. We went through the aspects that this moon is hitting. This moon is making harmonious contact with Pluto. So wherever you have Taurus sat in the chart, you could throw whatever you're trying to transform and change, you have a whole bunch of access to come at that shit with conviction, So Leo risings, you're working on something you used to be working, you've been working on it for a year, you've been growing this brand of business for a year or two, or for a couple of months or whatever, or, let's say you've been more than a couple of months, let's say you've really been putting time into something. Don't hesitate to rebrand something if you feel like it needs some change. Or even better, let's say you have it Leo rising, you have an aspiration for wanting to be seen for something, all right, for wanting to create something. So let's say everybody know you for, let's say there's one thing everybody knows you for, but y'all want to be seen as a motherfucking rapper now. Y'all want to rap, y'all want to make music, y'all want to make music. You used to be an athlete. Everybody seen you as an athlete. Now you want to make music. Full moon transit in the 10th house is trying to get you to detach from how everybody's seen you before and understand that you could rebrand yourself if you want. It's your life. You could work on how you change your social status and how you get others to perceive you as, all right, or what you want to do for a line of work or career, no matter how long you've been doing something. So it's that type of energy with the full moon in the 10th house, and you nurturing those ideas or possible ways of transitioning into different lines of work or rearranging things in work. That's what's going to help the 4th house some more. You're going to feel more comfortable about what you're doing to stabilize yourself, all right, or how you rebranded yourself in some type of shape or form, all right. So that's what you got going on, Leo risings. 11th house, Cancer risings. This season may have dealt with a lot of activity, dating experiences, romantic endeavors, all right, and things that you like to do for fun or makes you feel like connecting to the child in you, okay? So now is a great time to filter your social circle. You got the full moon transiting the 11th house. 11th house dealing with all outside public relations, how we conduct ourselves outside our familiar surroundings, deal with people that we don't know, the external realm, how we connect with others, network with others, business relationships, group environments, social groups, communities. So when we have the full moon transit in the 11th house, since you've been experiencing all these things with Scorpio in the 5th house, new experiences, new adventures, possibly dealing with your creative endeavors, with your creative substance some more, this is going to be a time to understand, what people you're connected to in the 11th house, or what opportunities you have to connect to your 11th house some more based off of the things you're already good at, the things you creatively invested in. All right. When you got the full moon transit in any air house, it may be a time for you to distance or, separate yourself a little bit from people that you're around, social circle or whatnot. So that's something to keep an emphasis on. But, there may be something that you realize that you really enjoy doing during the 5th house, or something that you creatively invested in, something that you have a lot of experience with dealing with creatively. And you realize that this Scorpio season, it's important to understand is a whole bunch of other people that is invested into that too. There's a bunch of other people that's creatively invested into that too. is a whole bunch of other people you could possibly teach how to deal with that too, or give insight on how to deal with that creative endeavor, no matter what is it, as long as it's dealing with something you create. And you could teach other people or be an example of how to deal with it. Right now, the full moon in the 11th house wants you to realize that you may have that ability to do that. Okay. Another thing with this full moon transit in the 11th house for my Cancer risings. This is one thing I want Cancer risings to understand right now. When let's say you guys, there's a certain group, community, association that you guys are a part of, or you've been a part of for whatever reason, a social circle that you're always around, you've been building with a lot, collaborating with a lot. It could be on a creative level, business level, whatever it is, but some type of group, some type of community, anything. If you feeling like you got to move on from them and align with something that, is correlated to what you're personally invested into, what you're creatively invested into, detach from it. If you feel like you've outgrown that space, that environment, if you feel like you're not clicking spiritually or on any type of frequency level with the people in that environment, or you feel like you've learned what you had to learn from that community, organization, that group, you may be feeling that with the full moon during the 11th house. So it may be a time to detach from that so you could start connecting with more people that's into the shit that you've been doing Scorpio season with the sun in your 5th house. The people that inspire that shit, or the people that would be inspired by how you deal with that creative endeavor. That thing that you're into that connects to the childlike in you. That when you're doing it, you don't give a fuck about if you're even getting paid for it or not. That's what make you feel happy. That's what make you feel good dealing with with the creativity in you. It's gonna bring you closer to them people. But full moon transit in the 11th house may have to detach from a certain environment, a friendship, a friend that they're around, period, to even open that portal up. So that's what we got. Full moon transit in the 11th house, Cancer risings. It's the time to feel like moving on from. There may be a friend group or community that you feel like moving on from, and in order to align with an environment that relates to how you think or your aspirations. It's a time to process your visions for the future. What relationships you truly value, 11th house relationships, all right, and recognize the connections and resources you have. It's time to really, you might be the plug for a lot of other people. Now you got to probably, full moon might be, once again, the full moon deal with making us connect and react to that house. So if you get the full moon 11th house right now, if you're thinking about that one person or that group that you do know that can support something you into, use your plug. Stop charging other people to use your plug. Use your plug for what you need it for. All right. So that type of energy right now. So if it's like any type of person that's really been on your mind about, I need to build with this person, or I know if I brought my resource of what I could do to that table over there and leave the table I'm at, I know we could probably create shit way quicker, way faster, or have way of a more equal exchange than where I'm at right now. Like them type of situations. So this could take place within your social circle with your friends. This could take place in a creative space. This could take place in career in some type of shape or form. All right? So that's what we got going on, Cancer risings. Recognizing the connections and resources you have. And now 12th house, lastly, my Gemini risings, all right? We got Scorpio, that Scorpio sun been transiting your 6th house. So what has the emphasis been for you, Gemini risings? Routine, schedule, all right? A strong emphasis on, how you organize things. All of that may have been what the whole Scorpio season felt like. What you got to work on it, how you work on it. Your boy, you said this full moon is in the 11th house. No, the full moon is transiting the 11th house for Cancer risings. All right, so the full moon is in Taurus. So whatever house you have Taurus in, that's where the full moon is transiting. All right. So when we look at Gemini risings, routine and schedule was a huge emphasis for you guys this season. With Scorpio in that 6th house, you're naturally a determined individual when it comes to 6th house endeavors. All right, you guys are real determined, devoted, could see yourself enduring things long time when it comes to career or the things that you want to work on. So y'all be in it for the long haul. All right, Pluto with Scorpio as that sense of longevity, holding on to something for a while. You go on the negative side, it's positive, negative, everything. So on the negative side, wherever Scorpio at, you might hold on to some experiences that you need to evolve from for a while too. All right, I'm a Libra, Scorpio, Stellium. So all my heavy Scorpio energies out there, y'all already know how we do. We holding on to shit a little too long. But see, that's why if you like my energies be funny because I I come off wishy-washy with it. So it's like I could feel a certain way. I get in an argument, debate. I could feel a certain way, you feel me? Projecting a certain way or whatever, express myself a certain way. But you're going to get that call from me tomorrow like, yo, my bad about yesterday. My bad. I ain't really mean that shit. I was a little cranky. My bad. I ain't have to come at you like that. You're going to get that from me. You're going to get that. You feel me? But if you ain't really got, if you got a lot of Scorpio energy and you don't really got, you ain't got other energies that help you harmonize a little bit, you know, Pisces energy like that, you know, some air in the chart, you know, then sometimes you may sit in that I see it my way type view for a long time. You might hold a little grudge for something for a long time. Even if you got some of them signs that help you drop that shit a little bit. It's just, that's what it is. That you got Scorpio energy, you gotta be careful of that. We could do that at times. You could hold on to shit a little too long. Alright? But in a positive way. See, that's why anything you ever hear about a placement or your sign in astrology, if it's a negative thing that you hear about your sign, there's a positive side to look at that. There's a positive thing that could be a negative side to that too. So it could be a video that you could be an Aries sun and you could be watching a video of 5 positive things about an Aries. For every positive thing that they name, you should be asking yourself like, all right, what's the other side of that? That's how you learn self. You learn the duality of yourself. You're learning the shifts you can jump into. All right? Everything has a shift to it. Everything has a different side to it. You know, so if Scorpios could hold grudges, but goddamn it, when they believe in some shit or they really devoted to a certain goal, they got the durability to stay there till that shit start growing a little bit. And once they see it start growing, it's like, okay, all right, bet we good. All right, I just had to see it grow a little bit just to know we planted shit the right way and whatnot. You feel me? But shit, it's just a matter of time now. All right, so that's that energy right there. But Scorpio in that 6th house, naturally determined individual in that 6th house when Scorpio is, there, you might just it's just that you transform your schedule a lot. You might change how you work on things a lot. All right. So you stay devoted to working on certain things or stay devoted in career, but you might just transform and change that shit a whole lot of the times. All right. So, Scorpio is going to go through transformation wherever it's at. But you just got to make sure you give yourself the duration to see results to things and you're not changing it that much, all right? To the point that you changing it, you're overdoing it, it's overkill, right? Try to stay with a certain schedule, routine to help things develop. But overall, this is more of a self-care transit for you, all right? You may really need to dive into a form of anything that comes off as a form of therapy to you, whether it's just smoking weed and listening to your goddamn music during this transit. You do that. All right? Because, full moon transit in the 12th house is going to isolate you. It's going to make you want to be to the subconscious. You already probably had a very active Scorpio season. And even if you wasn't highly active doing certain things, working on certain things in your schedule, trying to put your schedule together, trying to work on taking care of certain responsibilities, you may be overwhelmed by the thought of the responsibilities you didn't take care of. So during this full moon, Gemini risings, just chill, just relax right now. All right. And this is more of a self-care transit for you. You may really need to dive into any form of therapy. All right. Anything to help you connect with the subconscious. You guys might really feel like you need to recharge right now. Anytime you got more than one planet transiting in the 6th house, things just feel like, you might start feeling like there's not enough time in the day to work on things because you start noticing how many things you got to work on with the sun in the 6th house. It's like, damn, I got to work at work. I got to work on my side job, my side business when I get out of work. I got to work on my goddamn relationship. I got to work on a relationship with my family member over here. Then I got to work when I get home because my super was supposed to come 2 weeks ago to fix the toilet. I got to work on it. So everything just start feeling like you got to fix shit when you got Scorpio, the sun and Mercury in the 6th house. So that's the good thing about Mercury transit in there because it brings solutions, strategies, plans, answers, ideas, details. It brings a whole bunch of that. You get a whole bunch of new information when Mercury transits the 6th house. So it's just allowing yourself to take all that shit you done gained, you done processed when it comes to changes in your schedule. new passions you may have developed, to things you want to work on. There may be something new you want to work on right now with the Sun and Mercury transit in your 6th house during Scorpio season. It's something new you want to put into your schedule. You feel me? Or new way you want your schedule, your work schedule to be in some type of shape or form. You know, motivated to start taking care of yourself some more during this Scorpio season. All right, with the Sun and Mercury transit in the 6th house. So with all this, you may have had a doctor's appointment. You may have had a little checkup during this season by default, you know, that lets you know you got to take care of yourself a little bit more. Sun, Mercury transit in the 6th house, possibly. All right. Or you may have, you know, had a little sign. Your body gave you a little sign. You either started breaking out. You ran up the stairs like me the other day, was out of breath when I came back on live. It might be something about your well-being that you got a sign that you need to start taking care of yourself a little bit more during this Scorpio season. So this is why y'all want to make sure that, you know, y'all exhale a little bit during this full moon. Don't do too much. All right. Give yourself a chance to process your inner thoughts and emotions. And then when we look at the full moon transit in your 12th house, you know, the 12th house is dealing with your, what's the name? 12th house is dealing with, you know, your aspirations. You know, things you want to experience, your belief system, all right, the subconscious, your dreams. So with the full moon here, now this is why you want to make sure you reserved and isolated into yourself, because if you got the full moon transit in your 12th house, this is what you're reacting to. This is what's heavy on your subconscious right now. What you can transform and change in order to bring some of them dreams into fruition, or some of the potential of something that you, idea that you have into fruition right now. All right. But also detaching from any insecurities. 12th house deal with insecurities. The 12th house could deal with fears. The 12th house, you know, so these are things that you need to make sure that you're willing to fight through, move through, navigate through, you know, by having a supportive 6th house, the right routine and schedule for how you're working on that new goal or whatnot. So you feel confident. So it starts breaking barriers when it comes to fears and insecurities. You like, all I know, if I keep this certain routine schedule or this intensity or consistency or, you know, inserting time into what I'm doing right now, I know it's going to be a matter of time till, you know, whatever it is in my 12th house that I'm reacting to right now of how and then you got Taurus in the 12th house. So you always going to be in a state of wanting to see how you could practicalize or bring something, stabilize one of your 12th house endeavors into real life, you know? So you just want to make sure you give yourself the opportunity to read these things, to take your new 6th house experience and wisdom you gain in Scorpio season to support, you know, some of them 12th house things or whatnot. All right. But detaching from all them insecurities, shortcomings, fears, all of that. Because the 12th house is endless. The imagination is big here. So it's like, as much as you can see the possibilities of positive things, it make you also, you know, see the negative outcomes, you know, swim in front of your face too. So you don't want to pay that much attention. Just focus on more so detaching from having a more positive way of looking at things for the most part, you know, and seeing how you could, you know, what things that you connect to that detach you from the physical reality that you need to be aware of as well. It may be some substances, something that makes you feel good, something you get high off of spiritually that you need to detach in this 12th house as well with the full moon here. And the full moon be dealing with, it deal with imagination, spirituality, all that, but this should be dealing with illusions, pleasures, temptations, desires, all deal with all that shit in the 12th house. So it may be something that you have a love for, a pleasure for right now, and it's taken away from how you trying to, you know, rearrange your 6th house during Scorpio season. How you trying to, you know, get your routine and schedule back in order right now. So you need to be mindful. That could be a person you're overdoing right now that gives you a sense of escaping from reality. It might be a substance you overdoing right now. Full moon transit in the 12th house. All right, so these are things you want to keep in mind. All right, guys, so I hope y'all enjoy the vibes. All right, I hope this resonated. I hope y'all feeling all cool, calm, and collective, you know, ready to embrace this little spiritual reset we experiencing. It's a lunar eclipse, so it could be easy to project on others and wear your mood on your sleeve and not even know it right now. It could play out like that a lot of ways. So we got to be conscious of how we even go about connecting, because we may not even be clear about how people perceive us right now. So yeah, I feel like Scorpio was 8 months. Scorpio season was 8 months. God damn. So just take the vibes in. All right. Whatever's heavy on the mind and on the heart around this time, acknowledge that as a sign. That's a signal. You don't need no extra other sign. You thinking about it heavy. You're feeling on it heavy. It's a sign to deal with it. Or it's a sign to jump into it and do it. Or it's a sign to detach from it and release it. Y'all intuitive to know which ones y'all got to do when it comes to whatever's heavy on the mind and the heart. Deep down spiritually, you're always going to have an intuition of which one it is that you got to do. All right? But it's full moon time. So right now, anything that's heavy on the mind and heart, it might be something that you need to snip. You need to cut it up out your schedule. All right? Stop giving it your energy. All right, guys? So happy full moon. I'm going to tap in with y'all tomorrow. Peace.